Hey everybody, it's Jessica with Pretty Presets, and I wanted to do a quick video just to show you how I use the Heal tool as well as a skin smoothing brush to just smooth over skin. This is a newborn session that I did the other day, and a really common thing with newborns, as most of you know, is their skin is really dry and flaky, and so when editing these, oftentimes you need something in addition to just smoothing over the skin. Sometimes the smoothing over is not going to really cover a lot of these dry, flaky pieces, and so there's a really simple tool in Lightroom that helps you to just quickly remove that, and so I wanted to show you how to do that. For this image, I'm going to go ahead and select the preset that I'm going to use. I'm going to choose Harvest Moon from the new Sugar and Spice collection. I am loving this preset on a lot of these images, in all of my sessions really, but this particular newborn session, I'm really loving it. Just in that one click, I already love just the way that looks. I'm a huge black and white fan, so this is just a really nice black and white that I really love to use. And so I'm not going to actually have to tweak that preset very much at all. I really like the way that looks, and so I'm going to go ahead and start by using the Heal tool to remove some of that dry skin. So I'm going to click over here on this spot removal tool, and I'm going to make sure that the Heal button is selected, and I'm going to go ahead and start using the tool. When healing, I usually keep this feathering number around 55, 59, somewhere in there. I always keep the opacity up at 100, and so you can just kind of play with it as you use it and see if it needs to be adjusted. Just for me, I found that number works really well. So you're going to see that when you're clicking using the Heal tool, you're going to do a click, and then the second circle is going to pop up, and that is the area that Lightroom is taking information from to kind of blend in over here and cover up the area that you're trying to heal. On skin, I will use the healing tool often more than the cloning tool, just because I think it can be a little bit more natural. The cloning tool is going to take a carbon copy. The second circle is going to be a carbon copy of whatever it is that you're covering, and it's going to replace that circle that you're trying to clone over. And healing, like I said, is just a little bit more of just kind of a softer blending from that area. And so I really like this option when working with skin. And so I often will also use the Heal tool when I have a client who has some acne. It's a great tool to cover up that acne. And so something you have to be careful about is as Lightroom selects these second circles to pull from, it doesn't always choose the best spot. And so I tend to try to find an area that's pretty close in the lighting and this just the skin texture to pull that second circle from. The other thing you have to be careful with, especially with when you have an area of skin that has a lot of dry skin, sometimes the cloning tool will put the second circle over another area of dry, patchy skin. And so then it just kind of defeats the purpose because you're not really healing, you're just kind of replacing dry skin with dry skin. And so just be really aware of where that second circle is landing and how that's making the healing circle look before you move on. And so you can see as I click these, it's not taking very much time. I'm just simply doing a click and then adjusting and then moving on. You can adjust the size as you go on. They don't have to be quite as big as I'm using. But I'm just going to go through and just really quickly just kind of pop these on all over the place, trying to make sure that they're all ending up in a good spot. Something that we get asked a lot when using brushes or like the healing tool, for instance, is whether or not we apply the preset first before using a brush. And I think everybody kind of does things a little bit differently. I have read things that say it's important to use your brush before you apply the preset. But I think for me, I don't notice a difference really. Sometimes I will use my brush after I've applied the preset, just simply because oftentimes the preset that I will apply will have enough adjustments to it that it makes the skin look better, to where I might not have to use a brush at all or as strong of a brush as I would have used had I not already applied that preset. And so I think everyone's just a little bit different. Like I said, for me, I think that I like to apply the preset typically and then do my brush work. And so you can see just then I placed a cloning tool there, and I didn't really like how that was kind of covering the eyelid there. And so if you just right click on that and you want to delete, you just delete it. You can actually go back and click on any of these and delete them if you zoom out and don't like the way it looks. When I am cloning out an area with a lot more just kind of like this crease right here, you got to be a little bit more careful because it's gonna you don't want to kind of wash that crease out. And so I will make my circle a lot smaller. Let me see what that looks like. I think that looks pretty good. And so with this under this eyelid, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be a little bit more careful, and I'm going to try to pull from the area of the eyelid. I don't want this circle to go over here because then you see how it kind of whites it out. I'm going to move this back up here just so it kind of continues with that dark shadowing line. The healing tool is really, I've noticed it pulls a lot of what the light looks like in that area. And so I'm just going to kind of go along here. Sometimes you have to kind of zoom in quite a bit on your image to really catch all those little pieces. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like now. Already a huge difference in terms of the skin quality. It looks a lot better already, and I haven't even applied my skin smoothing brush. And so I probably will go back through and do maybe a few more pieces, but I really like what that healing tool has done. So I'm going to go select my brush. I've already have my baby skin smooth brush applied. A newborn skin is usually very dry and flaky. That's why the clarity on the newborn brush is brought down so much, because their skin usually needs a lot of help and just making it look nice and clean for the picture. And so I'm just going to kind of go over his face with this brush. Anytime you're using a skin smoothing brush, you want to be really careful to avoid the nostrils, the mouth, the eyes, the eyelids, the eyebrows. Basically anything that you want to leave smooth, you definitely don't want to soften their eyes per se, or their nose. You want to keep those things nice and sharp. I'm going to apply my brush here. Maybe go a little bit over this eyelid since his eyes are closed. Sometimes I will go in and kind of adjust my brush. Maybe I don't need quite that much of a reduction in clarity. Sometimes, especially in a black and white image, I might take out that reduction of contrast. Just gonna see how that looks. And I really like that. And so you can see how just in just a matter of minutes, we've already made this image a lot better just by simply using the healing tool and then a simple skin smoothing brush just to make this image a lot better. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. Thanks so much. Have a good day.